Hello, I'm Midnight Persona, and today I thought I would do something I don't think I've done yet. I wanted to kind of do a get ready with me / I'm gonna get into my feelings / talk about Frozen 2 situation. Mostly because my wonderful, wonderful mother-in-law got me this. This is the ColourPop Frozen 2 palette, Elsa's. I didn't get Anna. I had to choose one or the other, and Elsa's my girl, so I had to pick Elsa. So I was going to do a little makeup look, Elsa-inspired cosplay look with the palette itself, and then I was going to talk about Frozen 2 while doing so. So I thought I'd sit here and get ready with you, and we'll talk about Frozen and all of its entirety and how I feel, because I have a lot of feeling. So yeah, so Frozen 2. I went to go see Frozen 2 the other day with my hubby. First things first, I'm gonna try my best to make it spoil-free, but it's really hard because I have a lot of feelings. So I'm gonna warn you ahead of time that there might be some spoilers. I'll try my best to kind of label spoilers as I go along. Honestly, I thought it was a really, really good movie. I thought it was a pretty fun end to the series, hopefully end to the series, because I know how Disney is. They like to go, hey, the second one did good, let's do a third one, when it's completely unnecessary. I think the way that they ended it, if they're ending it, was great. If they decide to do a little TV series to milk it, I won't care. I never really count TV series as much. They're fun, but they only did TV series good back in the 90s with like Goof Troop and DuckTales and stuff like that. Nowadays I feel like their TV series are very lacking, though I've heard good things about Rapunzel or Tangled. I haven't checked it out yet, but I do plan on checking it out eventually. There weren't a lot of songs, or I guess the original Frozen didn't seem to have a lot of songs either, but I was actually okay with that. I didn't really care that there was I think there was like four songs in total, and it was weird that Kristoff seemed to have gotten the longest song, but it's fine. I thought it was a cute situation, so I'm gonna talk about the songs first because music is my big thing and I love music, and a lot of times that's why I watch a lot of these things. If I remember correctly, the basic song, there's like 4 to 5 main songs, which is the lullaby their mother sings them. There is Into the Unknown, which is a song that has been stuck in my head since I watched the movie. Like the changing song, Nothing's Gonna Change, or I don't remember the name of it, but basically it's Anna's song to Olaf and saying, nothing's gonna change, everything's the same, or at least if things change, I still love you. Because this movie is about Olaf's adventure into adulthood. Then there is the Kristoff 90s song, and then there is Show Yourself, and I think that's about it. Oh no, and then there's Anna's sad song, but that's a spoiler, and that's kind of one of those, we don't need to talk about that song right now. Into the Unknown is very catchy, and then Disney had Panic at the Disco redo that song. And it's so good, and I don't understand. Like, we were sitting in the theater and it was like the song, it's like how Let It Go had a second version by Demi Lovato, and that one kind of, I'm not saying it flopped, but I don't think it was as popular because Demi sounds very close to the original song. They tried to make it a little poppy, so it's kind of like, okay, this is good, but it's like, whatever. The Panic at the Disco version of Into the Unknown is a phenomenal song. Into the Unknown itself is a phenomenal song. I have had it stuck in my head, and at random points in time, I find myself screaming around the house, Into the Unknown! Into the Unknown! Into the Unknown! Into the Unknown was such a good song, and honestly, it's the only song that stuck with me through the whole series. Kristoff's song was weird, but that's all I'm gonna say about that. That's a surprise that you need to go watch the film for, or at least get the soundtrack for, because that was one of those, okay, that happened, and then you kind of move on with your life. Olaf, of course, got his own little song, because why wouldn't Olaf have a whole song to him? That's his whole point. He's a comic relief. He's there to entertain and do absolutely nothing, and add no kind of function into the story. If you can't tell, I'm not a big fan of Olaf. I just feel like they do that thing in Frozen that they do with some of their other series where they focus on the sidekick way more than the actual story. Like, I feel like Frozen 2 is such a serious and like a good message, and then they focused on the sidekick for some portions that were completely unnecessary in my opinion. Anyway, moving on. I could talk about Olaf and how I don't like him all day long, but I'm not even gonna talk about Olaf that much. I love Elsa. Elsa is my favorite person. Elsa is my queen. Elsa is the love of my life. I love Elsa so much because she really makes me feel myself. My two favorite Disney princesses is Elsa and Tiana, and if I could combine the two into one ultimate princess, I would be so happy. Well, technically queens. I love Elsa so much, and the story felt like so much of a growth for her, and I love what they did with it, and I love how she was through the film, because you could see her growth from the very first movie in this film, because she was still anxious and nervous about a lot of stuff. She still didn't feel like she belonged, but she was doing her very best, and that's all we can really ask for Elsa. All right, let's get into this real fast. So with this little box of goodie, we have the Frozen eye palette, we have a lip gloss, we have a lipstick, and then we have glitter in this wonderful little kit. They're called, okay, so there's Elsa palette, there's a Mystic Journey, a Little Snow, and the Dark Sea is the glitter gel. That's a little weird. I don't know why the Dark Sea is the glitter gel when it's really, really light, but it's the glitter gel called the Dark Sea. The lipstick, Elsa color lipstick. I'm going to try to use everything here from the palette if I can. No promises, because I don't know if I'm gonna use that glitter gel. I might slap it on my face somewhere. Here's Elsa's palette. And then the lip gloss, which I think I can just put over the lipstick. So since I'm doing my eyes first, I'm going to use, it's hard to read the names for me. Yeah, Spirit Lift, and the one name I can't pronounce, unfortunately. Anyway, so, ooh, I grabbed too much of that. So the movie itself was really good. I love Elsa so much. Elsa is my absolute favorite character. Anna I love, but I'm gonna be blunt, Anna got on my nerve in this movie. I love her, and she's amazing, and she's such a good sister. But I feel like she became a very doting, overbearing mom in the movie because she was scared of Elsa doing anything on her own that would mean Elsa would explode if she did anything. And this coming from the woman who wanted to marry a man she just met. So like for me, I got a little kind of frustrated with Anna in the movie. Obviously, is not that deep. She's a fictional character. I'm not saying like, oh, Anna's a miserable character, I hate her, or anything like that. I got a little frustrated because I'm like, lady, you met a dude and tried to marry him immediately in the first movie, and now you're holding Elsa's hand like she will shatter if she sneezes. And the whole thing was like, you can't do anything without me, you promised? You know, and I get that. They both have abandonment issues because of their parent. I guess I was just kind of in that mode of, Anna, stop holding her hand. Anna, let her do stuff kind of thing. Especially since she's the older sister and Anna wasn't letting her go at all. Anna was cool. I love Anna. Kristoff is an amazing character. I love him to death too. All the new characters and the natives are really cool. This might be a little spoilery, but it's not in my opinion. But in the movie, they did talk more about Elsa's parents, Elsa and Anna's parents, and they did make it feel like they weren't abandoning them, which I do like. They kind of, everybody's joke was that her parents kind of abandoned them and they didn't really care about Elsa, and they were kind of like scared of Elsa, and they, you know, they didn't really want to take care of her very well because of how scared they were. And I'm so happy that this movie kind of made it more like in depth on why her father might have been scared of her, or why, like, you know, they acted the way they did. So it did make it better and not feel like they just literally left Elsa to die with her sister, you know what I mean? So I am happy that they went back and touched more on the parents' past and talked about that a little bit. That made me happy. We got a new band of characters. I really loved the General Guard Captain. It was really cute and really funny. So yeah, anyway, I really liked the General. I thought he was really fun. I love both the tribe and the soldiers for Arendelle that you run into later. Everybody was such a fun character. Here's where I get a little more spoilery. I do enjoy that they did not give Anna any powers, that they left it to Elsa like she was a chosen child. Spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. My husband keeps saying Elsa's the Avatar, and it was really funny because the way that they touched on her powers and her abilities did make her seem a little Avatar-esque, and so it was really, really, really funny. This whole movie, the thing I enjoyed the most about it is it was like a journey of self-discovery for her. And honestly, Into the Unknown, as I was listening to it, I was laughing to myself and I kept thinking, this was me starting my like cosplay journey. It was me trying to figure out if this is something I wanted to do. Was this something I wanted to play with? Oh, by the way, I'm using the colors Water and Glide, or Gale. I'm using the colors Water and Gale. I'm putting water down near the front of my eye, and then I'm putting a little bit of the Gale over it. So like I kept like kind of thinking to myself and going, wow, this song makes me feel like when I wanted to try new things or try to rediscover myself with cosplay and you know, get into new hobbies while everybody else was telling me that it wasn't something that, you know, I should do and it's not gonna matter. And even like as growing up being an artist and stuff, and my dad used to say stuff like, things aren't gonna work out for you because you're a fat little black girl and things, you know, that's just not how it works for black people, kind of thing, you know. I was told that a lot by my dad growing up, and I never really wanted to try a new journey because I felt like, what's the point? I'm happy where I am. Let me not dive into anything or try anything new. And Into the Unknown was like me, like hearing that song felt like me discovering the things that I really enjoyed and discovering the new stuff that I really wanted to play with and do growing up. And my mom was always supportive. My mom was the most supportive person ever, but she couldn't be there every 2 seconds when my dad was being a jerk, you know. I want to use Flurry because it's kind of like a speckled snowflake kind of color. Anyway, so yeah, Into the Unknown is probably why it felt so good to me listening to that song and hearing that song, because it did feel like that whole song was her feeling too anxious to start a new journey and find herself. And this whole movie for Elsa was like a self-discovery thing. I know a lot of people really wanted Elsa to be gay and find her girlfriend in this movie, and honestly I would have been down for that too. I wouldn't have cared. But honestly, I'm a little happier that's more of a journey of self-discovery. Mini side note, I still think Elsa's asexual. I feel like she's not really ready for a relationship or wants to be in a relationship that much. I feel like she's more good with herself, or she's trying to be good with herself. So, I don't know. I know everybody wants to make Elsa a lesbian and all that stuff, and that's not really, you know, an issue. But I actually think Elsa's asexual. Like, she gives me more of the vibe of she's not too super interested in anybody or anything. Like, she's not focused on a romantic relationship. She's good being on her own, and I think that's okay. I think it's perfectly fine to finally have a Disney queen or princess that's more focused on trying to be themselves than trying to constantly, you know, appease or have a princess or have a person because they have to have a person, you know, it's a thing. So I'm actually pretty happy that Elsa didn't get anyone. I'm happy that she's just, like, spoiler I guess, that she's just her, you know, and that it's about her and her self-discovery and her learning about herself more, and not so much about the princess or queen or person she needs to be with, you know? Let's talk about outfits, because I'm a cosplayer. So Elsa gets, I'm getting a little crazy on this Flurry thing, so I'm gonna stop. Elsa gets a new, like, 3-4 outfits in this. I would like to make all of them. I do not have the money to make all of them, so we will see what happens in my life. She gets like a new outfit of self-discovery at the end. She has a like night jammy cute purple outfit going on. She gets this other cute Jedi robe thing going on. Me and my husband kept joking around and saying how Elsa looks like she's a Jedi now, and I guess that's just how it is. Which honestly, with the way things are going in the series, she pretty much is a Jedi now, and you should not mess with Elsa. Anyway, Elsa gets a lot of new outfits in this, and I really love most of them. I cannot afford to make any of them. If there's someone out there who loves me and would love to make me some outfits, I will wear the crap out of them. But in the meantime, I will continue to stay broke and eventually maybe one day possibly make those outfits. I'd love to make her nighty because it was purple and it was really cute, and it was like, she wasn't in it for a very long time, but I thought it was a super duper cute outfit. I'd love to make her Jedi robes, but I think her Jedi robes are like a lot simpler, and those are probably one I could make if I ever feel like it, or if I'm ever done with the other cosplay projects I have, because let's face it, as a cosplayer, you just keep adding to your list, and then until eventually you burn out and say you can't cosplay anymore, and then you add 5 more things to your list and you cosplay those too. That's just how life is. This wing got a little bit out of control, but I had to stop talking for a second so that way I could do my wings, because they're the hardest part of my face a lot of times. Eyes are just about done. Now I just have to take my eyelashes. These are, I can't remember, I think it's Eyelure, but I always cut my eyelashes down so I can fit them. I always cut my eyelashes down so I can fit them in the same area. So the movie itself overall, I really, really like Frozen. I know a lot of people are so hateful about it, or they just think it's a terrible movie because it's not like other movies or whatever, and it's too, like, you have to understand too with Frozen, it's a child's movie. Like, literally, Disney is not making Disney princesses for us, you know, like 30-year-old women and stuff. And not to say that we're not allowed to enjoy them. Of course we're allowed to enjoy them. Of course we're allowed to sit here and we can critique a movie. Like, I will say every day, all day, I don't like Olaf. I really don't like Olaf. Olaf wasn't meant for me, though. He was meant for the little children who were gonna be like, haha, talking snowman. I like the talking snowman, you know? So it's, as I can criticize and say that obviously there should have been more story and less Olaf, the Olaf is what sells, one, and children like him. So, you know, that's the way it is, you know. If I really want something with a lot of depth and story and, you know, all this extra stuff, then I will go write my own book, like, you know. But yeah, I mean, yes, they market to us, so let's not be blind. They do market to older women too, because we're the ones who are buying these things for our kids, or buying these things in general, like this makeup palette. There's no 10-year-old running out to buy this makeup palette. There has to be an older woman running out to buy this makeup palette. But the movie itself, as much as it is catered to me, an older woman, it's mostly catered to kids. I can't sit here and be like, I hate Frozen, it's such a terrible excuse for a movie. Well, if I hate it, then I guess I can just go not watch it. I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and ruin the movie for all these little other kids who are like, I love Frozen, Elsa's my favorite, you know? I think if we have more people who have that mentality and mindset and remember that Frozen is not for us, the world would be a nicer place. Because we wouldn't have to fight and argue and constantly be like, these movies are trash, every movie is trash. But I am but a simple nerd. I'm not somebody who's constantly ragging on movies. I'm a person who sits and enjoys the movie. I don't really sit and go, wow, this could have been changed, and wow, this was bad, and wow, la 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 la. I guess that's just not me. I'm pretty simplistic. I'm pretty, you know, happy-go-lucky when it comes to movies. I'm really just kind of watching a movie because I'm watching a movie. So maybe I'm just simple-minded, that it doesn't bother me so much when movies don't cater to my every whim. What was I talking about? I'm sorry, I go on tangents a lot, so this is why I don't probably ever do my makeup with me situation, because I just talk, which is probably why I don't have any friends or people who want to really listen to me. I talk too much. Probably why this video is gonna have like 5 views on it. Anyway, I'm teasing. But anyway, the movie itself, I think did exactly what it should have. It entertained the children with Olaf. It gave us a kind of a finale of, you know, where did Elsa get her powers from though? What happened? How did it happen? What's going on? What is the origin of Elsa, and why is everything so crazy? And I think it did a good job in explaining that and fixing the her parents don't love her kind of gag, because spoiler alert, her powers come from her mom. I lie, it doesn't come from her mom. There's a whole thing in the beginning where they explain that there are spirits on the other side of the island and where they live, that the tribal people cater, like the spirits will let the tribal people basically use their power for their everyday life and situation, like with the, basically like with Native Americans, and how they respect the land and they respect the spirits that live there, and so the spirits themselves appreciate them and love them, and so the spirits allow them to live in their presence and let them use their abilities and things like that. So the spirits blessed Elsa's mom with Elsa to have the ability of ice or what have you, to be the avatar to save the world. And that's that. So, you know, it was kind of weird, it was kind of cliche-ish too, but at the same point, I like it. But I'm so easy to please. Literally, I'm a very easy person to please, where I'm just like, pretty music and great songs and happy characters and less Olaf. And then, you know, I'm happy. There's more Elsa, there's more outfits, there's a lot going on that I like. And I'm not complaining. Like, you know, they gave me a happy ending, so I'm happy. I got some great songs out of it, so I'm happy. I don't understand what they were doing with Kristoff's song, but you know, I'm not bothered by it. Eyes done. Now I don't have to touch them anymore. I will 50 times again, but I don't have to touch them anymore. I'm gonna highlight with this, but I tend to use the lid to highlight because look, there's all that extra powder that's off in the top, and if I get that on my face, it's gonna be way too much. I don't know what else to say about the movie without giving anything away because I don't like doing spoilers, but maybe I'll just like kind of disclaimer in general that there's spoilers in this, obviously. So if you haven't seen Frozen, please go watch it. Unless you don't care. If you don't care, then keep watching. I'm going to take a moment to talk about something completely spoiler for anyone who's watched the movie. So there was a moment in the movie where Elsa was finally getting to the point of finding herself, and then her powers started to overcome her. And, or maybe not her powers, but like it was the whole point of the place she was going to. They were like, you go too deep and you might drown, and she basically went too deep. And then, so they basically glossed over Elsa's death. They like, she went in, she started to get too frozen over, she started to like freeze up and get stuck in this place, and then she froze and they went to the next scene, which you could have guessed it was with Olaf. And basically Olaf started to kind of separate. Yeah, I said to separate. And he was like, Anna, I don't think Elsa's okay. And Anna was like, oh no, and proceeded to hold the snowman in her arms as he faded away because Elsa's dead. And like, I don't know, something about it kind of bothered me where it was like, so wait, let me get this straight. You guys glossed over Elsa's basic death to show me the snowman's death and Anna cradling to the snowman and then singing her sad song. And like, what? I don't know. I guess I was kind of annoyed because I was just like, you killed my favorite character and cared more about Olaf dying than Anna, than Elsa die. I was really bothered by it. And maybe I'm being over dramatic. Maybe they didn't really gloss over it, whatever. And I know my friend Anthony had said that I think the whole thing was Olaf was like Anna holding on to the last thing she felt she had left. So that's why they kind of kept with Olaf, looking at Olaf. I kind of assumed it's because they didn't want to show a bunch of children Elsa dying. But at the same point with that, it still felt like they just kind of glossed right over Elsa's death and straight into Olaf dying, which I feel like would be more traumatizing for kids who really, really liked Olaf. So I felt like that whole situation was counterproductive and kind of messed up. So I guess that, to me, that was the biggest scene that bothered me. I'm gonna go on to using Little Snow, Elsa's lipstick. It doesn't show up a lot on me. I do wish this lipstick was as vibrant as her actual lipstick, because her lipstick is like some pink. I was gonna use my Ursula lip gloss that I got from Ulta, but then I thought about it and I really just wanted to use everything from this palette. So that's the lipstick, and now the lip gloss. I also have a little bag that I got from Etsy that was really cute colors, so I'm probably gonna put all of the makeup inside this bag. So I don't have to keep opening that box up, but that's just how I am. So anyway, let me setting spray myself, put on a different shirt, and then I'll finish kind of wrapping up my whole thought process on the movie. So here's the finished product. Here's the finished product, the makeup and everything. I put on my Elsa wig and my Let It Go shirt, and I just wanted to say I really, really enjoy Frozen 2, the movie. I really enjoy this palette by ColourPop. It was really a nice palette. It was really fun to use. And this was the look I kind of came up with, a casual Elsa look. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like this video, like this video. If you like me, subscribe. I hope to do more videos like this soon. Maybe I can get some more makeup palettes and stuff to do videos like this for you guys, and I really, really appreciate the love and support for everyone who watches my videos, and I really love you guys so much. So hopefully soon I can do more like this, maybe even get a sponsorship or something like that from ColourPop, because I really, really like your palettes. But anyway, thank you guys so much, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye!